So we have SBI coming together with Franklin Templeton. We read a little bit about this the other day. They elaborate a little bit further here, but they're coming together and people immediately think ETF. I immediately think real world asset tokenization. 100% I think that. I think that's what this is about when it comes to all of these companies coming together right now. It's interesting, isn't it? A lot of these XRP companies congealing with other companies that want to be heavy in real world asset tokenization. Where earlier this year, we remember Ripple talking about what? Real world asset tokenization. That can unlock trillions of dollars that will be constantly, a large part of that value will be constantly in flow. It would explode the prices of any of these bank coins or utility coins that are involved, any of them. The flow hasn't begun yet. That's what people don't understand. You see, there's a web being built. You know how they say Web 3? Listen, forget the whole internet connection. No, we're talking about a web of value. And it's slowly being pulled together. Franklin Templeton is stellar heavy. XLM in the background, period. Can't get around it. Every account that's on Stellar has some XLM has to be used. But hey, feel how you want about XLM. They're coming together with SBI. SBI is XRP heavy. You see how this goes? But then you have other companies that haven't gotten into the bank coins just yet, but there's no way I don't believe they don't know about them. No way. They're just not going to talk about it just yet. They're just not going to jump in just yet until that case is over. When that case is over, I expect big things to happen. 100%. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Let me say that right now. Okay, so I don't have to say it again. These are my humble opinions. They don't have to be yours. But I think a wave bigger than anybody could ever imagine happens after that case is over. Announcements. Could you imagine if BlackRock, and you know why I'm bringing up BlackRock? Not for nothing. Because once again, the connection with all of them beyond interbank payments. So let's put the banks to the side. That's still there. That's my number one, interbank payments. But besides that, right next to that is real world asset tokenization. Ripple wants real world asset tokenization. Franklin Templeton wants real world asset tokenization. Don't worry, I'm going to give you proof in a second. BlackRock wants RWA. No one's going to move that value better than the bank coins. That's not going to happen. They have real global reach, which means what, folks? That means when it comes to explosion in price, the potential for it, no guarantees, of course. Make your own calculations. But when it comes to potential, there is no potential bigger than that when it comes to legit projects where you're not going to lose your house, lose your whole life. It's not gambling at that point. Right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about legit. No one is going to move more value than them or has the capability to move more value than them. They have corridors everywhere, been building for years. And yet you have all of these companies talking about the same thing. So when I see an article like this, I don't think ETF. I think RWA. Look at this article. So that's one article, right? It was about the XRP ETF. And they get a little word from Monica Long and Yoshi Taka. But here's the next article. I'm going to just throw this one in there, right? I have a lot of thoughts today because it's getting real hot with what's going on. Things are building up. And whenever they do say, hey, case is over, whenever they say that, I'm so ready for it. I expect a lot of huge moments after that. Maybe not immediately. But this is what I'm talking about. Listen to this. This article is titled, Franklin Templeton mulls bringing RWAs to Ethereum. Mulls? No. They're going to do it. And this is what I'm talking about. There's going to be multiple winners. I know that a lot of tribalism says, no, this one coin is going to win. No, it's not. No, it's not. I can't honestly say that. There's going to be a lot of them because they're bringing them all together. They're not. People are only seeing a piece of the engine. They're just seeing the alternator. They're not seeing everything else. The radiator, all of these different utility coins. Ethereum is in there. It's the OG. It's the original. It has its place to play. Just like Solana has a part to play. No one thing is going to do it all. They're pulling everything together. to make sure, to ensure that when that value, all those trillions begin to flow, that nothing can stop it. They're building what they believe to be an unstoppable system. One, which an unstoppable system means that that someone somewhere is going to make whatever's beyond generational wealth. There's going to be wealth made. It's the best way I could put it. I don't have any better words than that. There's going to be so much value made by someone somewhere. It's going to be unthinkable. I firmly believe, once again, not financial advice, but I firmly believe whatever we saw before is nothing. It's nothing compared to what's to come. And I stand on that. I could be wrong. Hey, listen, I'm not afraid of being wrong. I don't have any fears. You know, what did Tupac say? My only fear of death is coming back reincarnated. Other than that, no, I know what I know until I see other data. They're pulling them all together now. So SBI, Ripple, Stellar. Franklin Templeton, Stellar, but also Franklin Templeton might dabble in Ethereum. But then you have companies like Wisdom Tree, also Stellar heavy. Wisdom Tree Prime app is Stellar, but then also Wisdom Tree. Are they the other company that works with Polygon, or is that Franklin Templeton? I think it's Wisdom Tree. They're pulling all the utility coins together, which means that flow is going to be important. Then you have connector pieces like, let's bring Google in. So you have Google Cloud dips their toes into Flare. But wait a minute. But then Flare is building some sort of connectors. I don't claim to be a Flare expert. I know a good amount about Flare. I'm bullish on Flare. But then they're building some sort of connectors. Remember what they're trying to do. If they pull it off, that's a huge piece, a huge connector piece in the new financial system. So connector piece for what? XRP, Bitcoin. They said possibly XLM in the future. Did they also say XDC? Did I hear that correctly? I don't know. I'll let you do the research on that. That's not the only one. Chainlink, Quant, they're pulling all of this together. Look at the connections of the companies. Look at the regional overlap. If you look at just the MENA region alone, by the way, research everything I'm saying. If you look at the MENA region alone, you have overlap of Hedera, Ripple. I'm trying to think of who else. Wait. Zenfin is in there also, although they're really quiet, but they're serious business, XDC. You got all this overlap in the corridors. There's overlap in the corridors. You look at the Southeast Asia region. My apologies. I'm supposed to get to these articles, but sometimes I just have so many thoughts. You look at the overlap in the Southeast Asia region. You got Ripple there. You got Stellar massively represented there. Massively. It hasn't been time. That switch hasn't been flipped yet. You got EveryNet over there. LightNet. You got Velo is active over there. I didn't forget about any of that. There's overlap. But the point of all of this is what I'm viewing now. And once again, I feel strongly about this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you feel different. Is the pulling together of the new financial system, the tightening of the bolts. We're witnessing it right now. And what we're also witnessing are the companies getting in position. When I see ETF, I don't care about ETFs when it comes to explosion in price. Not at all. If it happens, it happens. Sure. Nice. Cute. I think the bank announcements are going to be what really pops off the price. That's what gets everybody bullish. When you're talking big money, that's what gets companies and people ready to put money on the wood. Yep, put money on that wood. Money on the wood makes the betting good. And that's what really gets people fired up. Light speculation is one thing. To have something solid is completely different. So, but they're getting in position. When I think ETF, they're getting in position. ETF means dominance to me. That's what it means. The companies are getting in a dominant position. Look how much Bitcoin they're buying up. That's called getting in a dominant position. It's not about the profit right now. That's little money. To them, that's small money. That's nothing. So then why are they really doing it? Positioning for the future time. When you control an asset that's easily moved by advertisement, speculation, advertisement plus the pumping of it. Like you just talk, all they have to do is talk positive about it. That's all they have to do. All they have to do is tell the people crypto's okay, it's good to go. And that price would explode. There's so much money just being left in the bank. There's so much money on the side. And all the people, why is the money on the side? Because the people rather take chances with money market funds and non-banking financial institution money market accounts that actually pay them yield, as opposed to their savings accounts where their money goes to die. And now it's going to get even worse for the banks. Why? Because now some of these banks are going to force people to pay to have a checking account. So now you have to pay to let the bank hold your funds and lend out your money and make more money off of your money than you ever will. How does that make sense? And here's the thing, the people are becoming rapidly more financially intelligent. Rapidly. Now, I will say that the masses of the people have a long way to go by their own admission. I watch a lot of videos where people like, I would like to learn a little bit more, become a little bit more financially intelligent. And that's a great thing. But here's what it shows when people start saying that in mass. I see this all the time. That means that the people are growing, they're advancing, they're evolving mentally in the mind. They're moving forward. And so with that, the people are saying to themselves, hey, why should I deal with the bank? And so, listen, it always leads back to the new financial system. 100%. Never underestimate also real world asset tokenization and how people are going to make a lot of capital. They got a lot of stuff sitting around, a lot of antiques sitting around. All of that is going to be tokenized. All of that's going to be tokenized. Everything is going to be tokenized. That could be tokenized. People will be selling and moving things. There will be new markets opening up. That value is going to constantly be in flow. And here's the craziest part. This is what I wanted to get to. Here's the craziest part. I'm no longer looking at, and it's been a long time like this, but now I'm getting more solid on it. As you start to see a vision become more clear, you get a little bit more solid on your concepts, your ideas. I think we're looking at all of these companies separately and really should look at them as one company, really. Right, different pieces of one company. Now, if you understand how the legacy system already works, I think they have the same vision for the new financial system. I do. They'll all sort of be on one accord in the background, one flow in the forefront. There's really only a few companies, and they own all the other companies. Take a look at that. They own the food companies, the music companies. And there's only really a few powerful companies, at least in the West. And they own everything. They own Disney. They own Fox. They own everything. CNN, music companies, and they own Viacom. And so I'm just throwing names out there, but I'm giving an example. They own everything. There's like maybe 3-4 of them, maybe even less than that. I'm not sure. But I believe going on that idea where you have powerful entities that love control. Control is security. Why would they not love control? Right? If I can control everything, I can make sure I'm going to have a good day the next day. These are my companies. This is my land. This is how they think. That's security. Security is better than anything. Money is illusory. All that value is just made up. It's just tea time. Here, have some tea. There's actually not tea inside the cup, but we all pretend to drink. That's what fiat currency is. It's tea time for adults, right? So that to anyone who rises to either a certain level of value or a certain level of consciousness, that's meaningless. That means nothing. We realize the fictional nature of such things. But what is not fictional is security. So when you're coming into a new industry that's going to be moving, that value, which is connected to more security, power, security is the same thing. That's something that has to be dominated, something that has to be tackled. You don't let that just be a wild animal running loose. Someone's going to take control of it. So a lot of people, they look at like BlackRock. I just laugh when people just look at BlackRock like, oh, BlackRock. You got to understand what BlackRock is, the conglomeration that it is. And I'm not going to go too deep on them either at this time, because they're serious business for real. They're serious business. They're not a company to play around with, but hey, to each their own. I have certain experiences. I'm just saying. But that type of conglomeration, you have to look at who actually is running things. I'm just saying, you look into it for yourself. But the point is, I think they're going to pull everything together. I do. And so what we're seeing now is the first weaving of the fabrics together that will become the quilt that is the new financial system, which will move more value than has ever been seen in mankind's history. And only a few will benefit. Only a few. I think most people are going to get left behind. Most people will be cut out. That's why I've seen it over the years. I think they're going to panic. I think at this point, I'm being completely honest with you here. I think most people have been conditioned to panic. I think most people have been conditioned to be pessimistic. And I understand it a little bit. I believe they'll sell early or they won't be in at all. I firmly believe that. I think that they've been guided instead of guiding themselves. I think they've been guided. I think there's been a lot of excessive risk taking. So I think most people are going to get left behind. I do. And here's the thing. When that first happens, if this happens, once again, not financial advice, nothing in this video. Just my humble thoughts. Let me cook for a minute. I want to say this. I think people should be very careful about what they're telling others that they have. Because right now, while it's not worth much, in the future, it could be worth a lot. And people will hear about that. And I think people grossly overestimate who they can trust. If you come into great wealth, people will harm you for great wealth. I won't go too far into that. I don't want to put the channel in jeopardy. Be careful who you're telling you have this and that. Oh, I have this. I have that. Be careful who you're showing where you live. I never understand that. Like, protect your anonymity, because if you have a lot of value, some people will come get you for that value. What are you prepared to do to protect that value? So I think you need to be careful, because if that happens and you come into generational wealth or you become vastly rich overnight, who you can trust might change. But that goes along with this other thought. I had to say that first to get to this thought. I think there's going to be a lot of outrage. I hope I'm wrong, but if the companies pull this off, and if the companies pull this off, a new financial system comes together. You got XRP, or let's say combination XRP, XLM, Algorand, Quant, Chainlink, Solana, Flare. I'm gonna put Songbird in there too. I just like Songbird. I just do. Zenfin, any of them explode in price, dramatic. I'm talking about life-changing. There's going to be a lot of people more upset than you've ever seen before. They're going to be upset at the companies. I say be very, very careful at that time. Be very, very careful. Sometimes it's better. There's a phrase. There's a phrase, and I'm going to use the one that I heard DMX say, the wise Earl Simmons. I greatly respect DMX, read his book and everything, understood what he went through, had a lot of wisdom. But he said this one line. He said, sometimes it's better to be thought dumb. Shall I go on? It's not about intelligence. Sometimes you want to behave like you're just a normal person. Sometimes you want to come off like, hey, maybe you don't have a lot. Dress normal, ride a normal car. Because sometimes when you don't do that, you become a target. There's a lot of jealousy out there. Sometimes it's better to be thought to not have much. Just food for thought, I'm telling you. So when this happens, I believe people should be very, very careful. Oh, come to this party. We're all having a party. Be careful. Be careful at those parties. I'm telling you, because there's a high that happens when you have a victory. I've had a lot of victory. I've had some failings in my life. I wouldn't even call them failings, because I don't believe in failure. Like if something doesn't work out the way that I want, I learn from it. I come back. That's a victory. Every little bit of information I learn is a W, a victory. And I come back stronger and better. But I've had low points in life, and I've had many, many victories. But I know, because of that, how it gets you. It's like there's a high. You feel immortal. You feel like you're on top of a mountain. You feel like you could conquer the world. And I'm not arrogant enough to say I believe everybody knows what that feels like. But because of that, you can get too relaxed. So now you're sitting on this generational wealth. You're too relaxed. And these people are like, oh, you come to this party. You don't even know them. You're just assuming because they might have had that asset and come into generational wealth. You're assuming you could trust them. Oh, we're all millionaires. Man, listen, be careful. You don't have to listen to me. This is not advice. I'm telling you. Then on top of that, watch out for The legacy. There's so much I want to say. There's so much I want to say. The legacy system money, you have to be even more careful around than other people. They're wild and they're crazy. I know this for a fact. Listen, I've done many things in my life. I've been in many, many environments, right? Any dream that I had, I went after it. So I've seen things. Some of these people, be careful, even around legacy system money. Be very, very careful. Come to this party. So anyway, what I'm saying is, I'm trying to tackle a lot of things that are just at the forefront of my mind. I usually don't talk about because it seems like this might be near, whether it's in the next few months or the next year or 2 or 3. It don't make a difference at that point. Like if we make it there, whoever makes it there, if we make it there, if it happens, it's going to change things forever. 100%. Everything's going to be for sale. Value is going to move like never before. And I'm trying hard to, I don't know if there's going to be another moment like that. Now, all those moments may come through these means, these utility coins, these types of assets, the new financial system. I think there'll be other explosions, sure. But once the first one goes off, I just don't know how the others are not controlled, highly, highly controlled and manipulated. I mean, I think this one has been highly altered, the timeline there, and highly manipulated. But no, in the future, 100%, now that those companies are in position and they're dominant and they can literally sell and tank the price and pump it through the mainstream media, which apparently a lot of people continue to love, the mainstream media, they can pump it through them. And the price will explode just off them saying, hey, Bitcoin is good. XRP is okay. Look at this. XRP is one of the best digital assets. We're going to interview this person here. They bring on people's favorite artists, and they definitely love these artists. They worship these artists like they're gods. They bring on Drake, and Drake is like, hey, XRP, or they bring on, I don't know, what's Tom Cruise or something. People will rush to those assets. So I just see the future being highly manipulated. I mean, if you just look at how some so-called influencers push certain products and it's just mind blowing, then you can see how someone that's viewed as much more popular than them could shift, minds and energies and such like that. Man, listen, I think a lot of wise people if generational wealth occurs, I think they're going to disappear. They're going to walk away, live a nice, peaceful life somewhere. I really do. Because I just see it at that point in the future, everything being very, I don't see it being worth the stress, worth the dangers and etc. I think people are going to just ride off into the sunset, live nice, peaceful lives, build something, buy a farm, buy a business, tuck something away, live quite normally and not appear not appear like money, appear like value, because then that makes you a target. You know what I mean? And opt for a peaceful life. I think that's what a lot of people are going to do. So, listen, and I think that, and I didn't go into this. I wish that I had more time. But the stock market, I really feel like that's going to play a part. Why do we keep getting these warnings that the stock market might be in a bubble and that it's going to pop from economists? Why do we keep hearing that? Is it real? I mean, these are the pros. Does it happen? If it happens, where does that value go? It's going to go somewhere. Is that going to sit on the side? Is that going to be in the cash pile on the side? I don't think so. Because a lot of people in the stock market, they like to play. People grossly underestimate the adrenaline rush that comes from trading and making money easily and quickly. There's an adrenaline rush. You get addicted to it. So then if that market does at some point go down, the bubble pops, quote unquote, maybe it doesn't happen. I'm just playing with that idea. We all know what it's going to be if it doesn't pop, but we have to also consider the possibility if it does pop. So we can have 360 degrees of knowledge. Where does that money go? Is it going to, think it might come into crypto. I do. Crypto, NFTs, NFT market hasn't come back yet, but that's going to be huge, especially for anybody that has any real unique NFT. And some people have some very, very rare ones. But I mean, maybe it could go there. Anywhere that can make very, 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 very quick money. And I think that's another thing. I think once people get a taste of crypto, a lot of people don't. They don't like crypto. They haven't been in crypto. They always viewed it as silly, but as it becomes legitimized, I think a lot of that money is going to come over to crypto. They're going to get a taste of it. They're going to get hooked. That changes a lot as well. That brings a lot of new value to crypto as well. So anyway, these are just my raw thoughts. Maybe I'll call the video that my raw thoughts or something like that. I'm not sure what the title is going to be, but I appreciate you being here and watching. Thank you. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.